Hey gang, this is Mike with my real estate dojo, and today's lessons is short and sweet. And what I'm going to be talking to you about is how to negotiate with a motivated seller. And this one tip is going to change the ball for you guys and put the ball into your court. And so let's dive in and get started. When you talk to a seller and you're trying to negotiate, or if you're talking to a seller and they think the grass is green and you think it's blue, you don't want to use words like but and however. When you use words like but and however, they have a negative connotation, but more importantly, the seller's mentally already trained to think about those words being like a fight situation. They already think when somebody uses the word but or however, somebody's on the other side of them. And what you want to do is come and be on the same side of the seller. And so instead of using the word but, however, you need to use words like and. So if you're coming back with an objection and normally you say but, replace the word with but and use and. It's the same exact thing. The transaction is going to be smoother and the seller's not going to get a red flag to pull their hand up and say, hey, or this guy's about to, rebuttal me. Okay? So use the words and because it's more settler. Okay? Another thing I want to talk to you guys about is words like maximizers and minimizers when you're negotiating to a motivated seller. As an investor, it's very, very crucial when it comes down to negotiation that you use minimizers and maximizers in your advantage, okay? Because word choices are powerful. For example, when you're doing an owner financing, and instead of telling the seller the word owner financing because that's a maximizer, they think, oh man, I'm gonna get so much money, you gotta do this, because in their mind, owner financing is a hard thing, and they've seen people say, hey, I want 20 grand down, this and that. So they're thinking all this negative plus, hey, I'm gonna make some money type of deal. And no, I don't wanna do this, okay? So they're getting all these negative things. Instead of using a word like that, the type of words you need to be using are, minimizers. For example, instead of saying, hey, I could take over your loan, see, that's a maximizer, okay? A minimizer word would be to say a word like, hey, I can make your debt payments, okay? Or, hey, better way to say it is this: if your house qualifies, I might be able to have a program to make your payments month after month and get you out of this debt. Okay, see, it's the same thing as saying, hey, do you want to do owner financing? Okay, but owner finance is a maximizer where me spending my good money to bail them out of their debt is a minimizer. But it's the same exact thing. When we go to the title company, we're going to structure it exactly the same. So it's very important that when you're negotiating with a seller, you're not on the other sides, okay, that you're using words that are going to doesn't flag up, hey, I'm on the other side. Hey, guy, I'm on the other side. You want to use words that says, look, I'm on your side, okay? So you got to use, instead of but and however, you got to use words that are like and, okay? So the seller doesn't get their fist up thinking, hey, you're about to rebuttal them. And then point number 2 is you got to use maximizers and minimizers depending on the situation. If you're talking to a motivated seller, instead of saying, for example, owner financing, which is a maximizer, you need to talk about, hey, if your house qualifies, if I can make the monthly payments and get you out of this debt, would that work for you? It's the same thing as saying, hey, do you want to sell it with owner financing? Or hey, would it be okay if I give you 10 grand down and $2,000 a month for 0% interest or 3% interest? See, you're not there yet, okay? Because before you give any numbers, you need to make sure you give a soft offer. And if you don't know what a soft offer is, you need to watch my previous videos. But a soft offer is like a mathematical formula without the actual numbers, like force equals mass times acceleration. And once I understand that, then I can put the numbers into what F is, M is, and then find acceleration, or vice versa. Okay, guys? So don't make offers with like actual numbers when you haven't even tried to give a fake pass and see what the seller's even okay with that, okay? A soft offer. So to end this video, guys, make sure you don't use the words like buts and however or when you're trying to rebuttal or when you're trying to negotiate, make sure you use words like and. And then number two, make sure you use the words correctly with maximizers and minimizers, okay? If you use the wrong word at the wrong time, you're not going to get the deal. Another guy comes in and he uses the same exact idea with minimizers when it's appropriate and maximizers when it's appropriate, and he's going to get the deal, okay? So words are powerful. And I'm a refugee to America. I figured that out. If you don't know this, you better go read some books, or you better come join my dojo coach so you get more access to creative and guerrilla marketing. This is Mike with my Real Estate Dojo gang. Don't take no for answers. This is 2016. Make your dreams come true. Fuck a TV. Read a book. See you later.